Hello everyone, and welcome to the free and live Beyond the Basics of Joomla 2.5 webinar sponsored by CloudAccess.net. We are your official host of the demo trial of Joomla at demo.joomla.org, and we also offer a comprehensive web hosting and support platform for both the Joomla and WordPress content management systems. You can launch a free 30-day demo trial of both WordPress and Joomla through our platform, and upgrade to a paid hosting package whenever you'd like, or create a backup of that Joomla or WordPress site and take it with you wherever you'd like. I want to tell you a little bit more about our platform in just a moment, but I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Ryan Bernstein. I'm going to be your host and presenter today for today's webinar, and we're going to do quite a bit today. I do want to let you know that this is the second part of a two-part course. The first part we hosted just yesterday, and we ran through the basics of Joomla. We talked about launching the Joomla site through the CloudAccess.net platform. We created categories, articles, menus, menu items, and modules. We discussed installing templates. We talked about customizing the cloud-based 2.0 template, which we used in our 2.5 site, and some other things. I want to show you where to access a recording of that webinar we did yesterday, just in case you landed on this one first. So it is important to kind of go back and follow those steps that we did yesterday before you get to these steps today. I do want to encourage you to find that GoToMeeting slide out question area and post a question to me directly, or you can tweet at me during today's presentation at CloudAccess. You see our Twitter handle at the bottom of the page. Just a little bit more about our company. We do offer phone support, and we're unique in that regard because you can pick up the phone and give us a call. You can submit an online ticket, but you can call us directly, and we'll help you with hosting questions, but we'll also help you with core Joomla or WordPress questions that you have. We have a support team standing by, and they're all very knowledgeable with both of the content management systems. We want to basically help you build your online presence. We provide a free managed backup service as well. Now, we give you the tools in the Cloud Control Panel to create your own backup. We call this the App Snapshot, where you can create a backup of your site and download it. Take a snapshot, download it to your computer, and take it with you or restore it at a later date if you'd like. But we also have a backup schedule where we save your work every day. And if you break the site somehow, we've got a copy of it for you, and we can restore it at no additional charge. Now, remember, we manage the Joomla and WordPress platforms for you. You can always launch a server, configure the database, and then install the software. There's a lot of second guessing with that setup. We do all the server-side setup for you. We put Joomla or WordPress in your hands immediately, and you can begin or continue developing whenever you want. And lastly, if you need a custom domain name, that is not a problem at all. You can always purchase a domain name through us, or if you already own a domain name, you can point a domain name to your new site hosted with us. When you do launch a free demo trial, as we illustrated in yesterday's webinar, you can use our free 30-day subdomain, and we'll kind of point that out in just a moment. But I want to show you our YouTube channel first. That's the first thing we're going to do today. And we're going to go to youtube.com/cloudaccess, where you can access our free webinars and our tutorials. We have over 9,000 subscribers. You'll get an email notification every time a new tutorial or video becomes available. So I want to show you that YouTube channel first, which is right here. Again, youtube.com/cloudaccess. And by coming to the site, you can subscribe. You see we have over 9,000 subscribers. Lots and lots of videos here for you to view, and hundreds of videos. And what you're going to want to do is come to our Joomla webinars playlist. And I should come over here off to our playlist on the left side, click on Joomla webinars. And the webinar that we're looking for is yesterday's webinar. And it's the only Learn the Basics of Joomla 2.5. It's right here. And you can click on this and watch the steps that we covered yesterday. So follow this this webinar. It's about an hour and 30 minutes, so about 90 minutes long, and you can follow these steps to learn about what we covered yesterday. Okay, or if you attended yesterday and you want to, or you've already seen this video, continue watching the current video, our webinar today, and we can continue developing. So in order to access the site that we launched yesterday, I'm going to log into my Cloud Control Panel. So I'm going to go to CloudAccess.net and click on the Login button, and I'll open my account. And this is the Cloud Control Panel. This is the place where you're going to manage and maintain your relationship with us. You can do a number of things in this area, as we explained yesterday. And what we want to do is we want to access the site that we created yesterday. So let's go ahead and go to the site we launched, which is called thebistro.cloudaccess.net. Now, in our main product view there, we saw all of our older products, or all of my demo sites. So again, if I go back to the CCP home, I can manage all of the sites that I did yesterday, or I'm sorry, that I've done over time. And I can see with the expiration date, I can see I can get a link to the site, or quick links to the Cloud Control Panel to manage each application. But here's the bistro.cloudaccess.net. You can click on Manage here as well. You see it expires in 30 days, and I can upgrade, and it is an active demo. I can also see that this is a Joomla 2.5 site. If I go to the Application tab here, I can look up different pieces of information about the application. It's 2.5.20 actually, and I can get my username and my password, or I can jump to different areas of the application, okay, or different areas of the CCP if I'd like to. Or I can access the site. Let's click on the link here. That's going to take us to the front end of the site. And here's the bistro.cloudaccess.net. We did a number of things. When we launched this site, we talked about this cloud-based 2.0 template that we're using. Of course, we changed the background pattern and the background color. We talked about the logo for the template. We removed that. We also, towards the end of the webinar, changed our heading colors and our module background colors, and our drop-down menu colors and our heading colors, all sorts of colors. Kind of have a cohesive design here a little bit. It was looking a lot better than when we first launched the site, of course. We created this single article menu item here. We created this Browse Our Menu. This is a featured article menu item type featuring 3 articles at once. And then we did our reservations page, which is another single article, and the sub-menu item, the locations page. Okay. We also created, if we go back to our home page, again, our header A logo module. This is a custom HTML module. We did another custom HTML with our big bistro image. We're going to replace this today, actually, with some moving parts and pieces. We're going to install an image rotator. And we also created this side menu module. Again, I'm more than willing to answer your questions if you want me to review how to do any of these, or if you want to go back and watch that first webinar. You can kind of get filled in on how we accomplished all of this. Again, today we're going to continue developing. I want to show you how to create a blog first. Okay, show you how to create a blog. I want to show you how to use the user manager. We're going to have a user register for our site, and we're going to show you how to put that user into different user groups and give them access control permissions, access control levels. And after we do that, we will give them specific access to a certain part of our site. And in the process, we're going to create a contact form. We'll add some social sharing options to the site. We'll put that image rotator right here again. And let's see, probably a few other things as we progress through this webinar. So the first thing we want to do, though, I failed to do at the end of the last webinar, which was delete content that we didn't need. If you watched the beginning of this two-part series, you saw that as soon as we launched the site, we came in, we created our own content, but we deleted a lot of articles and categories and modules that we didn't need. And let's go back to our Cloud Control Panel. I'm going to click on the Login to Joomla button to get into the back end of my Joomla site. And I did, of course, I gave you an overview of this area last time. But remember how we went to the Category Manager? and there are just a whole bunch of categories listed here that we deleted. And the first thing I want to show you how to do is get rid of that content that you don't need. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's use our filter to search for our trashed categories. So right here, in our filter area, we can select trashed. And that's going to show us all of the articles. These are the early categories, all of the sample data that came with our site. Let's go ahead and display all down below there. Again, that was right here, displaying all of our categories. And now what we're going to do is we're going to select them all, and we're going to throw them in the trash. Click on Empty Trash, and, well, we weren't able to do all of them. Yep, one item is assigned to this category. Delete not allowed for 67 items in the category. Oh, because it's a subcategory. I see. Let's go to, we were doing our articles first. Let's go to our categories. No, let's go to our articles. Let's do this first. Let's select our status. Let's select our trashed articles. Let's get rid of those first. Because if the articles still exist, even though it's trashed, again, these are all of the trashed articles that came with our site we cleaned up. You won't be able to delete the category if there are still articles remaining. So let's select all of these and empty the trash, and this way we should get that blue message letting us know that the articles were successfully, and this is a permanent change, okay? We don't need that sample data, so we get our blue message letting us know 68 articles were still successfully deleted. We'll get those out of the site. Let's return our filter to show all of our published articles. So here's the 6 articles we wrote last time. And now at this point we can return to our categories. And again, these are our trashed categories. We can select all of our trashed categories, and permanently, again, this is a permanent change, we're going to empty the trash. And at this point, we should be able to permanently delete those. Looks like I still have one article in my uncategorized category. So let me return to my articles, and let me see here. No, doesn't appear so. That's strange. Maybe it's making me keep the one just to be sure. I'll double check and look into that later. Either way, we cleaned up a lot of those categories we don't need, and I'm going to return my status to show my published categories. All right. The next thing I want to do, we want to go to those modules. And so let's go to Extension and Module Manager. We need to clean up those modules that we didn't delete last time. Again, here's the 4 published modules I have: my logo, my main menu, my banner, my side menu. But let's do our trashed modules. Show all of these, and let's select them, and just as before, we'll empty the trash. And this is permanent, but of course if you click on the new button, you can always recreate any of this functionality. We're just getting rid of the modules we don't need and getting a nice clean site to start with. And we get the green or the blue message and the yellow message, meaning there's no trashed modules to view. So our query is to see trashed modules, and there are none to view. So that's why we get that yellow message. But anyway, our site is a lot cleaner now. There's still more cleaning we could do. For instance, we could go to Content and Media Manager. We uploaded several images to our site, like our logo and our banner and the images of the food. But remember, your Joomla site comes with several images, like these Joomla images, for instance. And if I want to delete those, I could select the check mark here, or just click on the red X box. It's going to delete that image, okay? Or select them, and then click on the trash button in the toolbar, or the delete button. And this is really important because those images take up space. And especially on your server, if you want to run a green site, right, if you want to be as efficient as possible and not take up too much space, you want to delete all the files you don't need. It could possibly help your site run faster too. So these folders are full of images as well. So you could open up the sample data, open up the parks folder. There are many images in here. You could select them all and delete them. Okay. You could also go to Extensions and Extension Manager. Go to the Manage tab, and any of the templates that you don't need, you would select them here and uninstall them. Okay, like the Bees 2 template, you're not going to need it. I believe there's an Atomic template, and there's the Bees 5 template as well. So these 3 templates, you're not going to use them. You install the Cloud-based 2.0, and chances are strong that in the future you'll go and get some. You go and get a custom template. So I'm going to delete these 3 as well. Uninstall the 3 extensions, and that's good. So now if I go back to my template manager, we'll see that we're only dealing with 2 administrative templates, the Blue Stork and the Hathor, and I could go ahead and delete the Hathor if I really wanted to, because I like the Blue Stork personally, but we also have the cloud-based 2.0 template. And now what we can do is continue developing our content. We've got a nice clean site here. It took about 5 minutes to get rid of that content. We want to create our own. We want to create some new functionality for our site, and the first thing we're going to do is create a blog. And a really popular question we have on our platform is, how do I add a blog to my site? And I want to show you how to do it. I first want to show off our website. I want to go back to CloudAccess.net. And I want to show you our blog. Go to About Us, go to our blog. This blog is EasyBlog. This is a third-party component that we've installed into the site to help us manage not only our blogs, but it gives us our categories for our blogs, our tags, helps us manage all of our bloggers. We get a subscription to the blog, an RSS feed, which is really cool. We get our featured image, and it lets us control the layout of the blogs and archives and all sorts of stuff. And there's even a search filter here, which is cool. But, you know, again, this is a third-party component, and it's EasyBlog by Stack Ideas. And so I just want to show you this. Stack Ideas is a fantastic component or Joomla extension developer company, and they just have some really great stuff, including EasyBlog, of course, and Easy Social and Easy Discuss. Just some really, really cool stuff, and you should check them out. I'm not going to show you how to build a blog with a component today, though. I want to show you how to use core Joomla functionality to create your blog. We will add a social sharing plugin to our blog to get those social options in there. Okay, so when we create a category blog menu item type, it's going to be a menu here, and it's very similar to our featured article menu item type, because it displays several articles on one page. But the difference between these two is these featured articles, they could exist in multiple categories. It just so happens that desserts and shish kebabs and porterhouse steak, these all are in the same category in the back end, but they could be in different categories and we could still feature them. The category blog, however, it pulls from one category only. It pulls articles from one category only. So let's go to our category manager. And when we were setting up our categories yesterday, we created one category specifically for our blog. Okay, so we're going to save articles into this category today and then create a blog menu item type. So if we go to our articles, notice how in our categories we don't have the bistro blog listed yet. These are the 3 featured articles on those pages, and they just so happen to be in the same category. But if I open up the shish kebabs article, for instance, let's just change this category here to general information. Let's save and close that. So now shish kebabs is in the general information category, but if we return to the front end of the site and refresh the page, it still is going to be featured on our main menu because we can pull from multiple categories. So I'm just going to open that back up and change that back and save and close. So let's create 3 new blogs for our bistro site. So I'm going to click on the new button, and I'm going to go ahead and title this, let's see, join us for the bistro fundraiser. And make sure this goes into our blog category. I'm going to go search for some text again, just some lorem ipsum text, just to fill up some spaces here. Copy this paragraph. Remember, though, this comes with formatting, and we're going to want to click on the plain text button to paste as plain text. So we can erase that formatting, which is going to be potentially damaging to our site. So we're going to use our article here to format, our JCE editor. Remember, we did install this last time as well. So we have our blog here. One thing I want to show you that's cool about the JCE we didn't cover last time is the Read More button. You can click on this button within the editor to get the Read More button within your text, or you can click on this button below the editor. For instance, I'll click there. You see the gray box? That's the preview of the Read More button. Or if I go back and click on Read More here again, it's the same exact function. It's this button within the editor to insert Read More. I'll show you what this looks like on the front end of the site. Let's go ahead and save and new. Do a second blog. Meet our newest bistro hostess. We'll call it. Paste as plain text. And insert. Create a heading. We'll do one more Read More button. This time I want you to come to Article Options, off to the Parameters area. Again, that's Article Options, and scroll all the way to the bottom of this list to know that you have control over the Read More text. The default text in the Read More button is Read More, but you can customize that. I'm going to do just that. Continue reading. We'll type in. Again, I'll show you what this looks like on the front end. Let's do Save and New. We'll do one more blog. Oops. I forgot to save that one into the blog category, so I'll have to come back. Let's create our new blog first. Let's go ahead and title this one Buy One, Get One Free Entrees on Sunday. Make sure this goes in the blog category and paste as plain text. Insert, heading, and Read More button. Save and close. So now if we look at our articles, we have 1, 2 in the blog category, and this one, Meet Our Newest Bistro Hostess, this should actually be in the blog category as well. Let's just leave that one in a different category for now, and we'll illustrate how the menu item we're going to set up really just pulls from one category, as opposed to the featured article, which pulls from multiple categories. Let's go to Menus and Menu Manager. Remember, we only have one menu in the site so far, the main menu. We deleted all of the menus that came with our site except for the main menu. We have 4 menu items on this menu. And again, looking at the front end, that's 1, 2, 3, and 4, the sub-menu item. But we're going to open it up, the main menu here. We're going to create a new menu item. Click on the New button. I'm going to select the menu item type first. Click on the Select button. And what we have so far, we just have a single article. We have a couple single articles. One of them is a drop-down. And we have a featured article. That's it. That's all we have so far. And later today, we're going to focus a lot on this user manager to show you how to create registration forms and login forms and profile forms. We'll also do a single contact later today. And if you have any interest in knowing how any of these menu items work, let me know. I'd be happy to show you. But let's see. We're going to do a category blog. This is the one we're going to do for this specific menu item. Let's title this one the Bistro Blog. And general information here is the category we're pulling from, but that's not the category we want to feature. It's the blog category that we just created. Okay, so that we just created articles for. So this is a really important step, that you link the appropriate category to the menu item. Let's go ahead and save this one. Let's return to the front end of our site and refresh. And we can see our Bistro Blog menu item. And that's pulling up 2 blogs. Remember, because we wrote 3, but one of them wasn't saved in the right category. So let's go ahead and save that in the right category. But notice the, I suppose first off, notice the Read More button. And the one that we're going to feature, the next one we're going to save in this category, has that customized text. So let's go back and read that, or change that one article. So we'll go back to Content and Article Manager, and we'll open up our Meet Our Newest Bistro Hostess. Make sure this is saved into the Bistro Blog category. We'll save that. We'll return at refresh. And so now we get our missing article. And notice too how the Read More button, this Read More button has Continue Reading. We customize that text, right? And the layout of this, the layout really doesn't fit a blog. Remember last time we were in our article manager and we created a specific layout for the featured article menu item type, which is this one. We wanted 3 side-by-side articles for our menu, but that doesn't really fit our blog. Thankfully, we can override that global setting we did to create that menu item so we can have our blogs be more vertical. Okay, so just as a reminder, let's save and close this article. We went to the options area last time and we set those global settings, the layout settings, and those article detail settings for all of our articles. But we're going to go back now to that menu item we just set up, and we're going to open up the Bistro blog menu item, and we can override those settings at the menu item level. So for instance, let's go to blog layout options. Again, if the field is left blank here, the global settings will be used. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to use 1 leading article and 1 column and save. We'll keep it open though to keep working on it. Let's go ahead and refresh. And notice how we have 1 column, and this is our leading article. And so this is kind of a layout that's a lot more useful for a blog as opposed to our browser menu item, which is side by side, which is still using our global setting, right? So the Bistro blog we have here, we have our Read More button. It's looking pretty good. Let's add a few of those article details back into the blog. Users tend to like these for their blogs. Let's go to article options. And we're again using our global settings. We're overriding here. Let's figure out which details we want to show. Let's we can show the category. Well, I suppose no, we don't need to show the category. Let's show the publish date. Let's show voting. We're showing the Read More already. Let's show our print and email and hits. We should show our author as well, even though it's just 1 person. Now let's save that and return to our blog and refresh. And we get a few of those the publishing information. People want to know that. You know, and just to mention it, you can adjust the article order, right? You can adjust article order if you'd like to, and that is going to be under category options, I believe. Nope. Blog layout options, is it? Yeah, article order. The global setting is using the article manager order, I believe. But you can again select your order here. You could do alphabetical, you could do most recent first, which would be probably ideal for your blog, but you have a few options here. 1 second, folks, I'll be right back with you. All right, sorry about that. So let's go ahead and save and close this menu item and return to the front end and refresh. We're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good. Created a blog. We do want a social sharing option in the blog. Now, one thing that's cool about our blog is that if we open up one of our recent blogs here, we'll see that we have these social sharing buttons, and these are integrated with our component, with Easy Social. If I go to our knowledge base, we've installed a different plugin. Let's open up, so you're aware we do have a comprehensive knowledge base here. And if you went to Joomla, I know this is the Joomla 2.5 webinar, so let's go to the 2.5 category. Let's open up our Getting Started tutorials. This 12-part series here contains a lot of really useful information, a lot of which we cover in our webinars, but which you're watching. But just to show you that this is one of the articles you can learn. But we have the social sharing plugin that we've customized for to be the same color scheme as our site and things like that. But this is kind of what we're going to go ahead and install into our webinar site today. We're going to get a plugin to do it. And there is no core, unfortunately, there's no core Joomla component or plugin or module that helps us with social sharing. We'll have to reach outside of Joomla. So let's go to Help, and let's go to Useful Joomla Links, and we'll go to Joomla Extensions. This is going to take us to extensions.joomla.org. And remember, one of the coolest parts about Joomla is its extendability. You can really enhance your functionality by reaching outside of Joomla and installing a third-party component, right? A third-party piece of software. And just a reminder, we were here last time. I gave an overview, but there are components, which are really large pieces of software. There are modules, and then there are plugins. And sometimes components come with plugins and modules. And there's also specific add-ons, which are make a specific extension work with another extension. Okay, so there are different types of extensions out there. And you know, if you wanted to, you could browse the categories and figure out what you want. Like if you want a calendar, go to calendars, right? We went to editing last time to get our editor. If you want a shopping cart, you'd go to e-commerce, right? You want a map, go to maps. What we want is a social option, so let's go to social web. And there are many choices here to pick from. We don't like to show favorites. There are so many good developers, great developers out there in the community. And you know, we did show off EasyBlog a little bit ago. We don't want to show favorites. They're really a great company, but there are many good companies out there. And so at Social Web, you can see that there are many extensions to pick from. JFB Connect, I've heard great things about JFB Connect. There are YouTube-specific galleries. You see all sorts of different stuff. I happen to know of a great plugin that I want to try to incorporate into this site, and it's called AL Facebook, and I believe it's ready for Joomla 2.5. Yeah, it is. So it's the AL Facebook comments box, and the title's a little bit deceiving because it's not just for Facebook. You get the Facebook comments box, but you also get Twitter and Facebook buttons, LinkedIn, Pinterest, I believe, Instagram. You also get a whole lot of other options. And we're going to go ahead and install this one. It's just a plugin. Okay, it's not a component. We installed a component and a template last time. This is just a plugin, so it lets me illustrate the plugin manager for you, but it's also free. It is a non-commercial extension, and it's really easy to use. So let's go ahead and click on it here. We can see, scroll down, we can see some reviews. Looks like overall there's some really great reviews on this. You know, you can't please everybody, but overall it's really good. You can demo. Let's demo. And actually from the demo page we can download, but if you go to the bottom of this article they posted, you see the demo. And it's just a Facebook comments, right? And then you have your social sharing buttons at the top. So let's go ahead and click on the download button. Of course, we want to be really careful of which version we're getting. Now, this is an older version for 1.5. We don't have a 1.5 site. We have a 2.5 site, so we're going to click on Joomla 2.5. And remember, it has to be a zip file, ZIP, if we want to install it through the back end of Joomla. So I'm going to put this in my downloads folder and save. There's the AL Facebook plugin, and then we'll return to the back end of our site here, and we'll go to Extensions and Extension Manager and choose that file from my downloads right here and upload and install. We'll receive the blue message letting us know we were successful. And remember, because that's a plugin, by default, it's going to be in our plugin manager in Joomla. Let's go to our plugin manager. There's a whole lot of plugins here. It happens to start with an A, so it's at the top of our list, but we could search for it. Like if you just typed in Facebook or AL Facebook, we'd get to our plugin. By default, please notice that it is not enabled. It's not published. You could click on this icon here. The green check mark means it's now published. Let's return to our site. The front end. We can close these pages. Let's refresh. And we're at our blog. And it's not going to show up in this view of our blog. We're still refreshing here. It won't show up in this view. because we have multiple articles on one page, and it's just not going to work. But if we click on our title, we're redirected to our page, and what we get is we get our social sharing buttons and our Facebook comments. Okay. If we go to our home page, the same thing, right? We get our social sharing and our Facebook comments. But you have some options here that are really cool, and I'm going to use them. I don't want the Facebook comments on my home page, but I would like the social buttons. But I want the social buttons to be on top of the article. But I want to keep my Facebook comments. Let's go back to our blog. I want to keep all of the buttons and the comments on each of my blogs, right? So let's kind of talk about the customization of this thing. In the back end, you can click on the plugin name to kind of customize how you're using it. So, and this is pretty typical of any plugin. There should be some options to help configure it in the back end. So here, excluded categories. This is for the Facebook comments. I'm going to do the shift select thing. We're going to exclude these two. I need to actually save this multiple times. The usability is not the best, but let's try to do that. We'll try to select another. We'll see. Maybe I can't do that. The usability is not the best in the 2.5 version. The 3.0 is a little bit better. But I'm trying to exclude categories. Save and close. Oops. Let's open it back up. And now let's go to the comments. Notice here I have the width for this thing, and looking at the front end of my site, I kind of want to get my, like if I go back to my home page, I kind of want my side menu to appear on my blog page. And so notice how my comments are now turned off of this page. We just excluded that category in the back end. But I can, if I'd like to, let's go back to our blog just to give you an example here. Let's go to our Bistro blog. Let's click on the Read More button. We'll be directed to the page with the whole text. This really doesn't fit, right? The comments don't fit. So I could use this page ruler tool. Now this is not Joomla. This is a Google Chrome extension called Page Ruler. And I can measure the width for this thing. It says it's about 900. Seems about right. So in the back end, I could change the width to 900. I'm going to want to change that eventually again so I can get my side menu on there. But let's go ahead and save that, see what that looks like. And let's refresh. So you can see the width matches our template a little bit better, but we want to put these social sharing buttons on the top. And so let's click on the social buttons option here. And let's see, you could do the same width again, or that's just the Facebook like. Lots of options here to configure. It's kind of cool. But I want to select those two, at least exclude the two of those. And there should be an option here of where to put the buttons. Yeah, let's put the buttons before our content. And let's go ahead and save those. Return and refresh. Our buttons should move before our content, which is a nice feature right here. And we have our comments down below. So it looks a little bit nicer. And then if we return to our home page, of course, we still don't have comments here. Oh, I excluded that category, didn't I? So I don't have buttons on my home page either. We can just exclude our menu items. We want to have buttons on our home page. And refresh, and we should have our buttons reappear here. Oops, I was in the wrong category. Back here, yep. Go back to social buttons. And save. And so that should reverse now. The comments will disappear and the buttons will reappear at the top. There we go. So yeah, lots of configuration options for that social plugin. So that is essentially how to create a blog in Joomla 2.5 with social sharing options. I hope that's helpful for some of our users. The next thing we want to do is, since we're at our extensions directory anyway, since we're talking about installing extensions and configuring them, let's grab one more. That's going to improve our site. It's going to put some moving parts and pieces on our website. We're going to put an image rotator in. And we're going to switch out this module for that image rotator. So we'll still have this image appear, but we'll scroll through several images at once. This is a really popular feature. Again, get some moving parts and pieces on the site, make it a little bit more interactive. Again, in the back end, let's save this plugin. Let's go to extensions. Let's go to help, useful links, Joomla extensions. Takes us to extensions.joomla.org. Now, to find a cool rotator, I'd scroll down, I'd go to photos and images. There are different subcategories here, not e-cards, but not galleries, rotators, or slideshow. Okay, that's what I can search for. I happen to know of a cool one that I like to use. It's called Slideshow CK. Really popular extension that has specific add-ons that works with other components too, like VirtueMart and Hikashop. These are both shopping carts. But here is the component itself, or it's just a module actually, and it has really great reviews. It is a free extension, and we're going to go ahead and use it in our site. Okay, so Slideshow CK, and here we have Joomla 2.5, Joomla 3.0, so I know it's ready for my 2.5 site. I can scroll down, I can see reviews for it. Can't please everybody, but mostly a lot of really good reviews. You can demo this, see what it looks like. And here's what the rotator looks like. You have your thumbnails down at the bottom, and you can use the arrows or it will autoplay. You see you have your timer up in the upper right-hand corner here to see when it switches to the next image. And the third image here, notice the description at the bottom too. But you can also have a video. This is actually a video you can have in the slideshow. So it's kind of cool if you'd like that functionality. I think it's pretty cool. So what I want to do is I want to download this. Let's go back here. Let's download. And make sure I get the right version for my site. Okay, it has to be 2.5. Let's download. I'll put the zip file again in my downloads folder and save. Let's return to our Joomla site and install it. Extensions, Extension Manager, just as we did before. Choose that file and select our Slideshow CK and open. Once the name appears, we'll install it. And remember, that's a module. So where is it going to appear? Once installed, it's going to appear in our Module Manager. Open up your Module Manager. Here's your Slideshow CK. Just like the plugin, by default, it is not enabled. It has no positions assigned to it, and it's on no pages. So again, let's just go back to our knowledge base. I'm going to search for the cloud base. The cloud base 2.0 template. Yeah, actually, let's just go back to our categories. I need to re-index our content here in our knowledge base, but let's go to Joomla 2.5, Cloud-based 2.0 template, and go to the module map for the Cloud-based 2.0. We need to pick a position for our module, and again, it's going to be in this showcase position, which is directly below our navigation, right? And we already actually have a module there in the showcase position. That's our bistro banner. So looking at the front end of our site, that's this one. Okay, close some of these windows I don't need, and so let's set it up. First let's open it up, and excuse me. Slideshow CK, the title. I'm going to select a position next. Let's filter just for the template we're using, which is cloud-based, and then we'll search for showcase select Showcase here. And we'll go to make sure this is published. And then over off to the right, we can use our Slides Manager to customize it. So let's select an image here. And I'm going to use that bistro banner I've already uploaded. And insert. We have a title for the image, which the title I'm going to leave blank. But the description I'm going to add. Welcome to the bistro. And in the next image, this time I'm going to select a new image from my computer, choose a file, go to my documents, my webinar images, go to the restaurant folder. Where are my banners here? Let's see. Now for these two banners, I actually put in some text in the imagery, so I'm not going to do a description or a title. So let's select this one and start the upload. Select my Bistro Banner 3 and insert. And again, I'm going to delete the title and the description because I created that in my image itself. You can see the text down below. And the last one, I'm going to delete this slide so I can create a new one. That was a video, so I'm going to add a new slide. Select an image. Browse my computer one more time. We'll get 3 images in there. And here I go with my bistro banner and upload. And then select and insert. And again, no title or description on this because as you can see it's in the thumbnail here. Let's go ahead and at the bottom of this one, right now it's on no pages. Which page do we want this on? We'll select only the pages selected. We don't want it on all pages. I'm going to put it on only my home page. And then let's save. Return and refresh. And here's my bistro banner, but it's the wrong height. And I don't like my title. And I want to get rid of the original banner. So let's use that page ruler tool and figure out how tall was this original image that we had. A number of ways of finding that out, but this was about 260 pixels tall. Okay, so let's close this. Let's return to the back end. I can go ahead and go to Styles options now, and right here, height, not 400, but 260. And then notice here how you have your pagination, your thumbnails, your navigation, and all sorts of different options here. Ronnie's letting me know my sound isn't working. Ronnie, everything looks right on my end. I hope maybe you can log back in and you can still hear the webinar. Sometimes that helps. Let me just type a note to Ronnie here. Try to log off and log back in. Sometimes it helps. Okay. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and save now. Actually, let's go ahead and hide our title. And I'll select Save and Close. And then what I'll do is I'll unpublish our original banner, the bistro banner. Let's just unpublish. Return to the home and refresh. And with a little luck, our original banner disappears and we have just our image rotator with our thumbnails and the images. Notice the caption here on this one, welcome to the bistro, which is what I added in there. Our second image, we didn't have that in there because I created the image with the caption. I believe this is Amsterdam, this image. Anyway, we have the other image here, gourmet entree. Okay, so yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. We're going to move on now. I want to show you how to add users to your site. We're going to create a new menu, a user menu, to capture users. And 1 second here, folks. Okay, so we're going to capture users, and we're going to create a user menu. And that menu will go off to the right side here, and we'll also, during this process, create a contact form. And this will kind of be one of the last things we do today. We'll kind of maybe show off some Cloud Control Panel features towards the end, and then get to any questions you folks may have. But in the back end, there's one thing I want to do as we start this. I want to go to our plugin manager. And right now we're showing our Facebook plugin, but I want to search for user. And there are two plugins I want to enable for our user. Or actually, I'll just leave this open. We're gonna use our user profile and our contact creator. So let's leave this open, and we'll come back and talk about these plugins in just a minute. I do want to go first, though. I want to create a new menu. We're going to go to Menus and Menu Manager and Add New Menu. And I'm going to create a user menu, and the user type is, or the menu type is users, and then we'll save and close. So we have a new menu set up, but it has no published menu items. So let's go ahead and click on open up the menu, then we'll click on the new button to create a new menu item. And we're going to focus, when we select our menu item type, we're going to focus in this user manager area. And logically, it seems to me, let's do a login form. Or actually, no, let's do the registration form first. Let's capture the user first. So we'll select registration form, and then I'll create a title for this. Create an account. Make sure this goes on the user menu I'm creating, and then save and close. So again, we'll set up several menu items at once, then we'll create our menu module, and then we'll show the functionality. Let's create a new user, or sorry, a new menu item. Select the menu item type. This is going to be a login form. So after we have the registration form, we'll do the login form. We'll call this Access Your Account. And the cool thing about the login form is you can do a login redirect if you'd like to. So for instance, you can point your users to a specific page in your site. Okay, so for instance, if you wanted to point them to the reservations page, click on reservations, and this would probably normally be a form for your registrations page, but let's copy that link and return here, login redirect, and save and close. Let's do a new menu item. The last one we'll do under User Manager. Let's select Edit User Profile. And so we've created our edit profile. Let's title this one Update Your Account. And save and close. But actually, one thing I want to illustrate before we save and close this, let's change our access level. Right now this is a public access level. We only want our registered users to be able to update their account though. So let's change this from public to registered. And these are the default access levels that come with your Joomla site, something I'll talk a little bit more about in a minute. Do registered and save and close. So now we have 3 menu items. 2 of them are public, 1 of them is registered. Our next step is to set up our module. I'm going to put this in the sidebar A position here, and that's going to be off to the right side of our content. We already have 1 module there, the side menu, and this is, you can put 2 modules in 1 position. It's just going to be below it, and you can move those around, the order of those if you'd like to. So let's go to Extensions and Module Manager. Click on the New button to create a new module. And let's go to, we're actually also going to create the login form module right now too, which gives us the same functionality as the whole menu that we've just created. Just 2 ways of accomplishing the same goal, really. So let's select menu first, however. Let's title this one our user menu. Select that position. I'm going to search for sidebar A. And which pages? Let's put this on only the pages selected. I don't want it on our menu page, but everything else, I want it on every other page, I believe. And which menu do I want to display? Not my main menu. This is a really important step. I want to display the user menu I just created. And let's save. We'll return to the front end and refresh, and we're going to get our user menu. Okay, and we can switch these around if we want our side menu on top of our user menu. Of course, you can do that. In the back end, let's save and close this, kind of illustrate how to do that. What we can do is we can filter by position. So we'll select just sidebar A. And once we do that, we can click on ordering. And you can use the little arrows here to move these up and down. In Joomla 3, these are drag and drop features. But here, we want side menu to be first, and then user menu to be second. So we'll do 0, then 1. Click on the little disk here to save it. Let's return and refresh. The side menu appears on the top and the user menu down below. All right. Now, because we're in our module manager, let's go back and let's show all of our modules. I want to create another login form just to show you that functionality. So how we get the login module in there. Let's go to our module map. I'm going to put this in sidebar B. So at first it's going to appear off to the right side of sidebar A, but then I'm going to show you a cool trick where we can actually put sidebar A off to the left side of our content. You have control over these things a little bit with this template. So in the back end, I'm going to click on the new button to create a new module. This time it's going to be a login module right here. And let's go ahead and title this one Login. Select a position, again sidebar B, and which pages? Only the pages selected. We'll do everything but that menu page, and save. So now let's go take a look, see what it looks like. Again, sidebar B, login. I don't really like it over here though, right? I want to switch this a little bit. So how do we do that? How do we get these modules that are sidebar A over off to the left side when in the module map it clearly says that we can't do that? Well, there's actually a cool tool in the back end. Let's save and close this module. Let's open up our template and show you how to do that. Template Manager, Cloud-Based 2.0, and Layouts. This is a cool tool. We're going to scroll down, and we can use the little slider that's underneath the different positions here to change our sort of ratio. So right now in the main body position, we have these main bodies off to the left, sidebar A, then sidebar B, in the 6:3:3 ratio. So we can actually move this around, and you'll notice how it changes. So I want 3:6:3 now. So sidebar A will be off to the left, then main body, then sidebar B. It's a really cool feature. Let's save our work. It allows us to customize quite a bit. Return and refresh, and notice our side menus are now on the left side, right? And a login module on the right. Looks kind of good. A little bit more balanced. Same functionality, of course, but yeah, looks better. Let's kind of show off too the functionality. Let's first let's go to create an account. Right, here's that core Joomla registration form, and some users like it, and some users think, well, I need more functionality. I need to capture more information. I can't just capture this information. And there is a plugin I want to show you that you can use to enable. Let's save and close the template. You can enable more features on that registration form. So let's go back to that plugin manager I was talking about. Remember, I searched for user, and this is the plugin I want to create, user profile. Click on this, and once enabled, let's return and refresh. We're going to get a much expanded profile form. Okay, we can have address, city, region, country, zip, phone. Let's say website, favorite book, about me, date of birth. Let's say we don't want this information though. In the back end, we can open up that profile, and notice here off to the basic options. These are all optional, but let's just disable some of these. Let's disable everything from website down so they won't even appear. And so this part is on the registration form, and down below this is for our this is for our update form too. If our users want to update their account, they won't be able to update this information either. So we disabled those bottom several. Let's return and refresh, and so we get those bottom options. Those are gone. And notice too how the asterisks, this is required. We could require this information if we wanted to. Now, some users, they're like, well, I want to customize, right? I want to customize my form. Well, unfortunately, you cannot customize some of these fields. You could probably in some way get into the CSS of the template or some site file and edit this form. That's really, really advanced, and the possibility of breaking the site is there. So, you know, you could go and get a custom form from the extensions directory to help you out with something like that. So let's use this registration form to create a user. And notice in our login form we have the create an account. If you click on this in our login module, it's going to take you to the exact same page. Okay, so let's go ahead and use the user registration to create an account. I'm going to do one for John. Let's create John a username and a password. Confirm the password. Give John a fake email address. And because this information isn't required, we won't insert it at this point, but let's click on register. And what's going to happen is John is going to receive this blue message letting him know an account has been created and a verification link has been sent to his email address where he can activate his own account, which is all fine and well, but you have control over this process as the site administrator. You can determine and tell Joomla that you'd like this to be an automatic process or an admin process where the admin has to approve the account. Okay, or maybe you want it, this is actually set where an administrator activates the account, but you could set it to where the user creates the account and then they have to activate their own account and that's it, or it's automatically created. So let's show you what this looks like in the back end. Let's save and close that plugin profile. Oh, the other one I wanted to create was the contact creator. I should have done this before I created a user. It might still work because I haven't approved that person yet, but the contact creator, you have a core Joomla contact component, and we're going to show that off in just a moment, but every time a user registers for the site, they'll be automatically added to this contact component, which is a cool feature. But let's go ahead and go to our user, go to User Manager. Of course, if you're in the control panel, just click on this button to access the User Manager. Now, I'm the super user. I'm the person who created the site. So I'm in here, right? And you see that I'm in the super user group. I am enabled and activated. You can see my email address. And you can actually see the last date visited, which is today, of course. But here's John, the person who just registered. John has not checked his email. If John had checked his email and activated his account, this would be a check mark. It's enabled, but not activated because it's set to the admin approval, right? Go to the Options button in the User Manager, the two little light switches, and you can see you have New User Account Activation. It's set to Admin. If you want it to be none, accounts would be automatically approved, or they can activate and approve, enable their account on their own. I do like to leave them to admin. Now you could have a notification mail sent to administrators. So every time someone new registers for the site, you get an email, which is helpful to know, well, okay, so-and-so is registered. I can go enable their account. You also have CAPTCHA that you can use in this form, which is really useful. If you want to stop spammers, use CAPTCHA. There is a Google Recaptcha plugin that you can enable for your Joomla site. Maybe we can do that towards the end of the webinar today, talk about Google Recaptcha. We'll see if we have a little bit of time. Again, please do post your questions in that slide out question area so I can see what you're thinking, what you guys have questions about. But let's go ahead and select Save and Close here. No, you do have the new user registration group. By default, it's set to registered. Really important stuff. So let's pretend John is activated or enabled. We want to activate. We approve this user. Here we have John as the user. And right now, since he's enabled and activated, he's in the registered group, but we want to give him more permissions for the site. But let's show you how to log in. You can click on Access Your Account in our menu, or of course you just use the login form. One thing that should happen here once we log in, two things actually. We should be redirected to that reservations page. Remember, we created that login redirect. And we should also see a third menu item show up here, Update Your Account. Let's click on Login, see if it happens. And with a little luck, one moment, with a little luck, yeah, we were redirected to our reservations page, and we get our Update Your Account menu item here. So John can click on this, and he could update his profile if he wanted to. Okay. He can also click on the log out button within the login form to log out of the site. Let's give John, that's about it though. He really doesn't, we don't have any content. We have just that menu item is really all he has access to. We're going to create a sub-menu item. We're going to put John in a specific group that allows him to create an article from the front end. And this is really useful to have your users do. If you want to have users be able to submit content from the front end, we're going to enable that right now. And in the back end, we're going to start in the user manager. And we're going to first start by going to user groups. Click on the user group tab. By default, these are the core groups that come with your Joomla site. There are several of them. And before you start selecting and deleting these groups, I do suggest you learn a little bit about the user manager and access control levels. So notice how there are child groups, right? They're indented, nested groups. And a child group is going to inherit permissions from their parents. So for instance, the publisher group is a child of the editor group, so it inherits their permissions, their characteristics. And then you can come in and change permissions and really specify which permissions each group should have. So publisher is a child of editor, which is a child of author, which is a child of registered. So it kind of shows you this tiered level of groups. Let's click on the new button to create a new group. Let's just title this one Bloggers, and the group parent I'm going to make publisher. So the blogger is a child of the publisher group. Let's save and close. All right, so here you see bloggers, and next we need to go to access levels. So we need to, now that we have the user group established, we need to go to access levels to create a custom access level for this one group. So by default, you have 4 access levels. You have the customer access level, public, registered, and special. And again, before you start selecting and deleting these, I suggest you don't actually delete them, but you use them as they exist and modify them. So we want to create a new access level. Click on New, and let's go ahead and title this one Bloggers. And then down below, which group do we want to have access to this access level? Well, it's just our bloggers. Okay, so we'll save and close. So our bloggers group now has access to our access level, our bloggers access level. Let's go back now to our users. We're going to open up John as the user. Notice how we can adjust his account details here, and we can also put him into the bloggers group. So because we created that custom group with the custom access level, and we put John in the group, John now has those permissions. Okay. Now there's one other area to be aware of for your users and permissions, and it's not here. It's not in the user manager. And the reason why the permissions area isn't in the user manager is because you can give back-end access to your users. You can give administrative access to a user. And the only thing they won't have access to is global configurations. Only the super user has access to global configuration. So if you open up global configuration and go to the permissions tab, you'll see here's all of our users, right? All of our user groups. Let's open up the blogger group. And this way we can see the inherited permission. So there is allowed, inherited, and denied. And this is implicit or explicit permissions for the site. And basically you can hover your mouse over here and use the tooltip to see what permission, what ability that group has, and then you see the calculated setting. Because we have this as a child group at the publisher group, it's inheriting all these permissions from the publisher group. So what we want to do is we want to allow John to delete content too. We want to actually give John admin access, not super admin, but just admin. And I want admin interface as well. So I'm going to give John all of those permissions because I really trust him. That's giving him a lot of permission, okay? So let's go ahead and save and close that. I hope that made sense why the permissions are in the global configurations area, not in the user manager. We'll kind of show you in just a minute when we log in as John for the front end. But first we want to create a menu item. We're going to go to Menus and Main Menu, add a new menu item. We're going to create a menu item just for our bloggers. And it's the menu item type is Select. We'll do Create Article this time. So let's title this one Submit a Blog. And really important, we don't want everybody to have this ability, right? We only want our bloggers access level. So what access level? We'll select bloggers. And because John is in the bloggers user group, which has access to this access level, and John has the permission to create content, he's going to be able to submit a blog from the front end. I'm also going to make this a drop-down. Where's that parent item? A drop-down from our Bistro blog menu item. And save and close. Now, we can return to the front end. I'm going to actually log out as John. We logged out. Notice there's no drop-down under Bistro blog. Let's log back in. And notice now how we have a drop-down called Submit a Blog. And using this form, John can submit an article. I forgot one thing. I'm going to open up that menu item again. Main menu, Submit a Blog. There's one setting in here that I like. It's a default category. We're going to say yes to this, and we're going to save our blogs into the Bistro blog category so they're automatically published, and John has the publisher permission. So they're automatically published to our blog. So let's save and close that. I'll probably want to, yeah, see, I've already got this opened before I did that setting, so let's cancel this actually. And let's go back and submit a blog. Let's see if that changed, which it did. So it's now, by default, goes to the Bistro blog, and we can't even change that because we set that setting in the back end. But let's title this one John's Blog. And I think I need to go get my lorem ipsum text again. Or you know what, we can just type it, some random text for now. John's Blog. Put in a read more button. More text below it. And yeah, save. John's going to receive the blue message letting him know he submitted a blog. If we go back to our blog page, we should be able to have that functionality. We see John's blog is published, right? We also gave John admin access. So let's go ahead and log out of our administration panel here. And we can log in as John. And we get admin access, but we don't get access to everything. Notice how there's no global configurations, right? He's got a lot of permissions in the site. He can access categories and content and users, and he could actually go to the user manager and open up. He can't edit me. He can't touch me, right? Because I have more power. But can he? Oh, and he can't put himself in the super user group either. Okay, so that's the basics of the user manager and providing access control levels for your different users. Our blog is getting kind of lengthy here. That's cool though. You can archive your older blogs, but anyway, let's see. We want to do one more thing. We're going to do a contact form. So we're going to put a Contact Us menu item right here in our main menu. And let's go to Components and Contacts. Now, by default, we have all these different contacts, and we have all of these different categories in our site. There are many of them, too many. And actually, I'm logged in as John. still, so I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna go back to my Cloud Control Panel. I'm gonna log into Joomla, so now I'm the administrator. Or no, I'm not. Let's log out. There we go. Now I'm gonna log in again. And now I'm the administrator. Okay, so we want to go back to components. Our site comes with the core Joomla contacts component, but we have all these contacts in here already. We're going to want to select them and delete them. We don't need them. Select them, throw them in the trash. Then we can go to our categories. Let's display all of our contacts. Just so many to pick from. I don't know why Joomla really has all of these sample categories to pick from, so we're cleaning up still. We're going to trash the contacts in the contact categories. And just as before, we could select our status, go to our trashed contact categories, select them all, and empty the trash. Yeah, it didn't let us because we still have contacts in there. Select our trashed contacts, select and empty the trash, and now those are permanently gone, right? We have no contacts in our site. Go to our categories. We should be able to do that again. It might make us keep one category in order to work correctly, which it probably will. Nope, it actually trashed all of them. That's cool. So let's go back to and view all of our categories. We don't have any in our site, so let's click on the new button, create a new category. And let's just call this one our bloggers and save and close. We only need the title for the contact category, although there's a lot of other information you can include. Let's go ahead and go back to our contacts and click on the new button, create a new contact. We're going to link this user to. We'll create this one for John. Linked user, this is a really important feature. You can select John as the user. So now John is linked with this contact. And what's really most important here is not the description or anything like that. You do have the default category. We only have one in our site. It's the contact details over here, right? So you can select an image for John. So I'm going to actually do that. I'm going to choose a file from my computer. I've got John's image here. Start the upload. Select and insert. We can do, let's call John the manager. Give John an email. An address. You see the point, right? You can fill out most of that information. Most importantly, is that email accurate? That's the most important part. So once that contact is created, let's save and close the contact. You can always go back in and edit, but we want to create a new menu item on our main menu. It's going to be for all of our public users. Let's do our menu item type, select, and we'll do a single contact right here. And I'm going to title this one Contact Us. And over here, just like when you're linking articles together, this is really important, which contact we want to feature. We only have one, and his name is John. We'll select John here, and save. And now if we return to our home page and refresh, we get our Contact Us form. Click on this. And here we get John's image, and this kind of works as an accordion where you can fill out the contact form and email John. You know, I don't have any other questions showing up at this point, so I'm going to show you how to enable CAPTCHA for your Joomla site. It'd be a pretty quick process. We'll enable CAPTCHA, and we'll prevent spammers from using forms like this one and our login form, from creating fake accounts on our site and spamming us with a whole bunch of spam. We'll have the annoying CAPTCHA form here where you have to prove that you're a human being and fill out a form, and using those special characters. And you have to, yeah, I think you know what I'm talking about. You'll see it in a minute anyway. Let's save and close first off. And we need to go to our plugin manager. So there's a cool plugin available called Recaptcha. And by default, though, it's not enabled. Okay, so click on the Enable button to enable CAPTCHA. And then I want to search. I want to do a search, Google Recaptcha. you need to get keys. So you need to come to this site. You need to come to google.com, Recaptcha, to get the introduction. The forms look like this, right? So we want to get Recaptcha for our site. And it's free. It's a free service. Let's sign up now. And what you do, you basically just enter your domain. So let's go to our website. And we're going to grab from the front end, grab your domain, the bistro.cloudaccess.net. You'll enter the domain here, and then make sure you don't have the double HTTP prefix at the beginning. And I'm going to select this little box to enable the key on all domains. That means any inside landing page, the key's also enabled. And then you click on Create. Oh, uh-oh. Shoot. Let's try it one more time. Oh, also make sure that backslash is not there from the at the end of the URL, right? And then create. Yeah, I have many sites. You may have to export the keys in a CSV file. I do have many sites doing this. We've done a lot. Add a new site. No, shoot. Let's go back. CSV file. That's okay. I'll download this. I need to get some of those off of CAPTCHA there. It's all set up for examples in our webinars. Let's open up that CSV though. Usually your codes will appear in this window if you don't have a whole lot of sites set up. So I actually have a lot of them set up. And I kind of just show you this. They exported this CSV for me. So here's the last one I created. It's going to give you a public key and a private key. And again, yours is going to look a little bit different than this one. I want to expand. I want to copy this public key. And then I want to return to my Joomla site. I'm going to open up that Recaptcha plugin. And I'm going to paste that public key in here. And I'll go back to that spreadsheet, grab that private key. Copy that. Paste it in. And then you even have a theme here. You can have the clean theme, black, glass. Let's do the black one. And save. Actually, save and close. And then what we have to do is we have to go to Global Configurations. And inside Global Configurations, go back to the Site tab. And under the default CAPTCHA option, none is selected, so it's not on. You need to select CAPTCHA Recaptcha, the plugin you just enabled, and save and close. And this time we can return to the front end. Let's refresh. Number one, let's log out as John. And let's click on Create an Account here. And this will take us to our registration form, but notice our Recaptcha form, so we don't get spammed. And same thing on our Contact Us form. It should be here. Yep, CAPTCHA. Really cool. And really nice feature to have. Don't have to install anything. It just works. So, I want to thank everyone for attending right now. We did have one question at the beginning from Ronnie about how do I access the first webinar. Remember, this was the second part of a two-part series, and you can access this by going to youtube.com/CloudAccess. This is our YouTube channel. If you come, our playlists are down below here, but if you come over to Joomla Webinars, you'll see Learn the Basics of Joomla 2.5. That is the first webinar that we covered. This webinar, Beyond the Basics of 2.5, will be listed here a little bit later today. Okay, so come back. You can watch and rewatch. You can also, if you go back to our channel, visit our Joomla 2 or our Joomla 3 Getting Started tutorials. 16 steps. Basically everything we covered in this webinar is covered in these steps, but you are doing this just for Joomla 3.2. It's not for Joomla 2.5. Let's see. Let's go back to CloudAccess.net. I'm going to go back to training, go to our, you guys know about our knowledge base. Let's go to our live webinars page. Of course, this is today's webinar right now. Tomorrow we have an interactive open forum webinar, so if you accomplish all of your goals with Joomla, or if you have any questions, please come back and ask questions. The open forum is just a continuation of our Q&A session. So you can speak with me directly. I do invite some really smart people to this webinar too, who can help you, or my help falls short. Okay. Now, not next week, but the following week, we have a Learn the Basics of Joomla 3 webinar, and then we also have a Learn the Basics of WordPress. Oops, this isn't right. Monday the 19th and Monday the 20th. I'm going to have to figure out what's going on there. Figure those out. But we also have, it looks like this is probably on Tuesday, the 20th. Let's see. Yeah, just go change that to Tuesday here real quick. But we have the Beyond the Basics of Joomla 3 is next Wednesday. Or I'm sorry, not next Wednesday, but the following. Either way, come back and attend some of our free upcoming webinars. We love it. And if you didn't realize it yet, this was a free webinar. If you share us on Facebook or tweet about us, we'd really appreciate it. Spread the word. Let people know we're hosting these free webinars, and we'd love for you to attend. So good luck developing your Joomla site. Check us out on YouTube if you'd like to. Check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/CloudAccess. Like us on Facebook. Share with a friend. And yeah, good luck developing your Joomla site. We hope to see you in a webinar really soon. Take care, everybody.